Um, I'm going to thank you for starting the recording. This is quite an exciting day for us here at Messy Conversations as we celebrate our fifth anniversary. My name is Sarah Beth Laurie, and I'm faculty here in Seattle of undergraduate studies. And I'm a member of the original planning team of this group. And I'm so honored to be here with many of you that have showed up and continued on to do this anti-racist work together and on our own in the world, in our classrooms, with each other, and out in the larger community that gives us joy and stress. So I'm going to just bring us to the next piece of this conversation by orienting us to where we've been and where we are now, and then some other folks will help us to think about where we're going with all of you. So I'm thinking back to that time 5 years ago when we were in a faculty meeting, a few of us, that Mihi was chairing, and getting to know each other across schools and thinking about how we could connect and build resources and share resources and also expand our understanding of the work that we are doing together. But also, it was so important after the murder of George Floyd for us to find ways to connect with each other around anti-racist work that was meaningful, that spoke to who we are and why we're here at Antioch, our mission, but also to our personal investment in anti-racism and in equity and justice for all people. And so it was during this time of COVID that we were such a captive audience to our social media, to the internet, to moving our classrooms from in-person to an online position so that we could engage with each other even while people were dealing with COVID and relearning history that was being written about and talked about in many ways for the first time in my lifetime. And there were also so many faculty, staff, students all across Antioch who really wanted to be together for this purpose and really wanted to hear more people talking about anti-racism, but even more importantly, finding ways to have conversations with each other about it so that we could learn more and absorb more and be better to each other, inviting more people, more representation to our university. And here we are now as the political tides have shifted, and we're calling ourselves back to the work again as we do daily, but also in a way as we notice there are a few of us here. And that doesn't mean that we aren't encouraging many more to come. But we are doing so as many other organizations are, universities, colleges, but all kinds of businesses as well, dealing with a different financial reality, dealing with new leadership, dealing with changes to staffing, and also a call to action that we have continued to bring through these conversations as an opportunity to connect us all in this work. So where are we now, I'm sure, is just as different for us as it was back then. But I am grateful for this opportunity that we have to talk about it and hear more from all of you.
Hello, it's my pleasure to welcome you as well. Thank you for being here. Um, I'm going to be sharing with you some information about where are we at right now, and because we made it all the way here because of the foundation that our founding members created for us, Foundation. And this platform has been able to thrive and keep moving forward because of that foundation. And we want to share the achievements that we had so far. And I'm gonna go there with you in a second. Here it is. Are we seeing the same things? So we are looking back at 5 years. It feels like yesterday when we did the third anniversary, but right now it's 5. And I want to share some numbers with you. And then we had 113 sessions so far in 5 years and 20 seasons. 5 average sessions per quarter, which is a huge enterprise for a tiny team, right? Average of people attending have been 35 people over the years per session, sometimes more, sometimes less. We would like to keep it high growing. This number is important, very important for us. 197 conversationalists other than our own team, meaning that we are engaging others, that we are not playing solo. And that is fundamental in our charge here. And again, thanks to the foundation that we create together and people have been participating. And 32 guest organizations that have been attending, meaning again that we have been able to reach out outside of our own comfort zone and bring people that belongs to other perspectives, other organizations, communities, and we expect to keep growing that. About our impact analytics with YouTube, that is where our repository of videos lives. We have been able to collect 107 videos of our sessions so far, having viewed this number of times, and equivalent to this number of hours watched. Guys, we're gonna share with you slides and the infographics that corresponds to this in case you want to have a party favor from today's celebration. And the 73 subscribers, we hope also to keep growing that, to expand our reach, to share all this very valuable material with other people. This is a wonderful finding, guys, this one. From the 113 sessions that we have led so far, they have been led primarily by faculty, not necessarily from our own team, but faculty in collaboration with students. So students have been stepping up, and we want them to keep stepping up so that this combination of faculty and students keeps driving this. And they have been connecting to guest speakers, which brings us back to this idea of reaching out to communities that are external to our point of view. So bringing inclusive, perspectives. This other one is very important here. We have been hosting also reports from Antioch University leadership, primarily, and thank you for being here, Stephanie Helms-Pickett, our Vice President of Equity, Belonging, and Culture. We are here. Stephanie has been so kind and very like welcoming to our perspectives and bringing updates about how the anti-racism efforts are playing out in the larger Antioch community, right? So it has been an important element together with provosts like Ryan, like Sue, like Mark, that have been also bringing information and updates. So all surrounding the idea of inclusion, all surrounding the idea of anti-racism. So it's important contributions. And then staff too, hopefully there are more staff members that would like to share conversations and bring and propose things. And I'm gonna share the other one. That is another interesting finding. The focus of our sessions on anti-racism have been covering different aspects of breaking down the concept of anti-racism into different ways to go about it. One is offering practical tools, different ways through other organizations and classes and students go about this in the practical world with elements that can happen in the classroom, outside of the classroom. But also looking at you see the blue one, that is a more systemic approaches. It's a little bit more philosophical understanding of the anti-racism issues, but from another angle has been important to cover, along with the idea of current issues. There are things that happen that we cover because they are like here and now. We try to stay current to cover them. We are not a professional journalistic organization or anything like that, but we try to do that and cover things that matter for our community, especially in higher education. Also, Antioch University leadership has been bringing this reporting that I mentioned earlier. That is part of the sessions focus, like at least once per quarter, we have the chance to bring them over, or they step in. And these other two, the purple and the, what color is that one? Like a pale yellow, brownish. These two findings indicate that artistic activism has been a vehicle that have been important to convey the idea of anti-racism as well, creative elements. And commemorative is marking important, not only holidays, but all anniversaries of important people, like we did with Gloria Anzaldúa. We did that with Anzaldúa. We have been doing that with Martin Luther King. We have been doing that with other important markings that we want to emphasize and lead to a very important conversation with our students and with faculty and members in the audience. And the formats that we have explored so far, this is like a really dramatic look of the dominant format here, and from the beginning, from inception, and that was the original concept, is dialogue between two people, like a back and forth. But it becomes also a round table. When there's more than two people, it becomes more voices there. So those two formats have been like the most common that we have been using. Presentation, we noticed that presentations are not that successful as such. Today, when we're doing, it feels like a little bit like a presentation, but I swear to you, this is not. We're gonna have our interactive part of this, but presentations are not as effective in the conception of messy conversations, and that's something that we can talk later if you want to, guys, have questions about that. The book club, we want to bring it back. I mean, there are a few of those, but it was successful, and we want to bring it back. And we also have the interactive board that is a participatory way for people to bring their ideas and write, like sticky notes, like Jamboards, and lately we use the Padlet. So that's another format that we want to explore, keep exploring and grow. And the creative approach that is always open for messy conversations, and people that might propose a combination of a video and music and other ways to interact that are more, in the lines of creativity. Pretty much, this has been our trajectory so far. But when we were putting together this presentation and counting numbers, we noticed that this anti-racism lens that we have been collecting in this repository of videos could very well support interdisciplinary lessons plans that faculty might choose to use in so many areas. These are just examples of the areas that you can see videos that are cataloged according to these topics. And you keep exploring topics, and it seems to be a really wide range. I think we captured around 20 different topics, but I don't think it stops there. So in one way or another, our videos, our sessions have been touching on all this variety of topics, and we are really grateful that people have been contributing to this. That is not something that we do alone, and we would like to keep sharing that with people. So I want to leave you with this thought that Messy Conversations are resources for everyone. And I'm going to stop myself so that we can keep going.
Well, thank you, Rosa, as always, providing that beautiful analytic mind to create these categories and break down what we've done over the past 5 years into this really more interesting way of viewing it and seeing these different categories, different methods and modes. It's nice to see that all broken out like that. And on this next part, for the rest of this session, first, we want to take some time to honor and recognize those who got us to this point, who we wouldn't have Messy without, especially those who are returning, and our founding members are here. And before we get to that, I do have a brief poll question that I'm going to launch. And I forgot to introduce myself, but I'm Asa. I'm a librarian at AULA, and I'm on the planning team for Messy Conversations as well. The poll, we have just one quick question. We want to get a guess or an estimate of how many Messy Conversations you've attended. You probably haven't documented every single one, but if this is your first, you'd be in that 1 to 3. But see, now that we've had 113, how many of those you think you're there for? I'll leave this open for a bit. Interesting. I'm seeing the results come in. Looks like we're just missing one. I think as co-hosts, we can't participate. Otherwise, it would be skew the data. All right, everyone.
Asa, can you respond for me or someone?
No, I can't respond either, but
yeah, that's true.
we got it. So,
okay.
So looking at these results, we can see we have some newcomers, 1 to 3, 3, 4 to 6. Then we hop up to 10 to 20, 20 to 21 to 30, 31 to 44, and then we have 6 super MC attenders with 50 plus attended. I think us on the planning team, we probably know those names and recognize you here. And I do want to recognize those who have been consistently showing up. Andrea, I know we see you every week. Mihi, Mark Hauer, Ryan, also Ryan Casimir here as usual. Sue is returning, but Sue was a major supporter. Sue Orland, Jane Paul, a big supporter of Messy. Lisa, I know you've been attending for the past couple of years a ton. And so, yeah, this data doesn't surprise me that we have so many super Messy Conversation attenders. And we really want to thank you. And we know this space is what it is because of you all. It wouldn't exist otherwise. It wouldn't be what it is. And you've all shaped it so much as the planning team. Did I miss anyone? I'll leave it. I didn't mention our other planning team members or the former student members on that team because I'm going to ask them to speak a bit. So everyone else, I see Jasper too has been a supporter behind the scenes, also offering us some advice on maybe getting a podcast off the ground. So thank you.
Elida, Alex, like I can see the screen and I find everybody.
Yeah.
I feel like in good company, like very familiar names and peoples and energy. Thank you.
Yes. So we wanted to open the floor to hear from some of our founding members who are no longer on the planning team. And I know I wanted to first go to Anna because I know if she's still on. Yes, Anna. I know you have to leave in a bit, but um, thank you for coming, for all you've done to shape this space, and wanted to just open it to, you know, fondest memories or advice going forward. What Messy has meant to you, and how you see this space.
Thank you so much, Asia. I mean, it's so warm and wonderful to be invited. Honestly, uh, it coming back is very it's amazing. The feeling is that I have to say that every Monday is that I automatically oh, this is a messy conversation, okay? But of course, life changes and there are schedules, so we have to pull away. But anyway, mine is very short, but I want to share with you how I feel about when we were first started and how I feel now. Hello, good afternoon or good evening, whichever you are from. Okay, I'm Anna Kwong. It is truly a bittersweet moment to speak before you today as we celebrate the 5th year anniversary of Messy Conversation. 5 years ago, this event was born from a shared dream. We want to increase awareness, to foster understanding, and to help alleviate racial discrimination in our communities and beyond our community. Since then, we have come together year after year, engaging in meaningful conversations about racial profiling, inequality, inequity, and the many ways discriminations continues to impact our lives. I'm deeply proud of the work we've done, the voices we've amplified, the bridges we've built, and the empathy we've cultivated. But as much as we celebrate this milestone, I must also acknowledge the sadness that lingers in my heart. While we have made progress, our country continues to struggle with growing divisions. We still, we are even now, okay, we're seeing acts of social injustice, racial violence that bring unnecessary pain and suffering to so many of our brothers and sisters. It is heartbreaking to see that in many ways. And I must say that the nation is definitely not moving in the right direction. But yet, in the face of this reality, I find hope when I come to Messy Conversation. In gatherings like this, in people like you give me the comforting feeling is that we are moving forward. Each one of you here tonight is part of a movement that refuses to be silent. You remind us that awareness is the first step towards change and that compassion and courage can indeed make a difference. As we mark this 5th year, let us not see it as an ending, but as a renewal, a renewed commitment to the work that still lies ahead. May our efforts continue not just for the next 5 years, but for the next 50 years, because the pursuit of equality, equity, and justice is not just a project with an end date, it is a promise that we must keep alive for generations to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and it's really great to hear from you and to see you in this space. One of the founding members who just recently left the planning team, but is always welcome in this space and has helped shape it as much as anyone. I do want to recognize as well that it wouldn't be a messy conversation if it were just like a happy 5-year celebration. There is a messiness to this moment as well. And, you know, 5 years ago, this series was born out of mass protest movement, mass upheaval in the country. And this past weekend, there was likewise, I think, probably the biggest protest nationwide we've seen. So there are parallels between the times, differences, of course. And one thing I would ask of our other founding members and planning team members is thinking about that difference of the moment from 5 years ago to now. What has changed? What have we accomplished? What what were you dreaming of that might come that maybe is still we're yet to see the fruits of. And I will pass it to, if it's all right, one of the other founding members who's returning champion, Kirsten Grimstad. It's so good to see you back. Former co-chair of undergraduate studies, and beloved member of the AULA community. Would love to hear your thoughts and any message you have for us. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much, Asa, and thank you for inviting me to come back to this occasion. It's really an honor and a thrill, actually, to see my screen filled with all of these beautiful anti-racists in rectangles. I'm very cheered to know that Messy Conversations has continued to thrive, and Rosa for all that you shared with us statistically about the reach and the diversity of topics, and that was really fabulous. It's wonderful to see everyone. And to your question, Asa, when we started the Messy Conversations in 2020, one of the early conversations that we scheduled was to visit the 1619 Project. That was that summer of 2020. And to me, this was a very special occasion. It was Angel Martinez and Yolanda DeVoe, who were the conversationalists. And the reason why this was particularly important to me is this, that as some of you are aware, much of the work that I have done outside of the classroom has focused on Holocaust memory work in Germany and particularly in Berlin. And I had long believed that our country could never reckon with our history, the crimes of our history, as the Germans have, from the bottom up through civic activism. The country reckons with the history of the Holocaust and the accountability, the sense of accountability that they have about it. But the 1619 Project, I thought, was an invitation for us to do just that, to re-examine our history in light of the arrival of that slave ship. And what does that mean if we think of our history in those terms? Taking that as a reference point. So that's the larger context in which I thought that was such an important conversation and an important book by Nikole Hannah-Jones under the imprimatur of the New York Times, giving it, legitimacy. And so that was a very meaningful conversation for me. And I'm reminded of it particularly now because Nikole Hannah-Jones wrote a piece in the New York Times magazine section last week addressing the question of the reaction to the killing of Charlie Kirk and sanctifying someone who openly embraced this replacement theory and other racist ideas, and is now being sanctified, and anyone who brings it up is then vilified. So I feel that the turning back the clock is particularly vivid and horrifying, really, to me, and saddening that instead of progressing toward that goal of reckoning with our history around racism and slavery. Instead, the book about it is being banned, and people who espouse these ideas are being sanctified. So that's, I'll close with that because you asked for those thoughts about where we came from and where we are now. And that's what is foremost on my mind.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, that's, I think, really captured it well, captured the moment and the difference in that feeling of maybe reckoning that was opening up, or many people thought was finally upon us. And now dealing with a bit of the backlash to that reckoning, or to that uncomfortable feeling that comes with dealing with the past and your past that can rise up, you know. And I know you've written a lot about that, and maybe in a country that's done it a bit better than us.
I'll just show you my poster for No King's Day.
Wow. Yeah, worth thousands of words. Yeah, thank you. I'm sure you got quite the reaction. So I will, on that note, I'll welcome into the conversation Jacqueline Rose and Nabi Subutron, former student members of the planning team. So glad you could make it, and welcome back. And would love to have the perspective of, you know, students who joined in this and helped shape it as well. Jacqueline was our first student member, I believe. Clarence as well, it's longtime serving student member. But Jacqueline helped shape a lot of how this space works and functions. And Jacqueline, you sent a very wonderful congratulatory video, but if you are willing to share some of your sentiments as well, and then Nabi, would love to hear from you as well.
Well, thank you, Asa. It's oof, it's heavy. It remains heavy. And going back to the beginning, you know that you're in good trouble. Dr. Gills and David and Kristen made sure that my good trouble was conveyed in a good way. And I actually miss the involvement with the team and some of the conversations that do take place individually and also within this context with Sarah and Clarence and Asa and the others that have been from the beginning. It actually has had an emotional impact thinking that we are here, that we're in the exact same place, that if not worse, when Messy Conversation started. And I was so appreciative of being part of the team and wanting to be gung-ho about the process and what we as students can offer. And so I just wanted to jump in feet first. And I feel like these are conversations that I hope that we continue to celebrate for many, many years to come and continue to go back and review. I have sometimes during the course of graduating with the undergrad program and going into MFA program at the time, just turning on Messy Conversations. And that's my prompt for a poem, or my prompt for a reflective moment that can turn into a story that I can share with someone else and hope that we can continue to work at it because it's the work that needs to be done. So I'm always shoving messy conversations into my classmates and friends and some of my family members. I need to get on the bandwagon too. So I'm grateful for being here and grateful for having this relationship with the campus. This is exactly why I came to Antioch, and I can't tell you how much it has meant to me in the long haul. It really, really does. And it keeps me motivated and active at the same time. So I appreciate you all and thank you for that.
Thank you, Jacqueline. And Navi, I'll let you take it.
Thank you, Asa. It's wonderful to hear, Jacqueline. Half a day, everybody. My name is Navi Subitran. I'd like to share about how Messy Conversations has helped shape my role in the community. So I was a student at Antioch University in Seattle, and I became part of the Messy Conversations in spring of 2022 to summer of 2024. And before joining, I had always admired and supported Messy Conversation and its mission. When I joined the team as a student, I mostly helped behind the scenes, planning, creating, and sharing flyers, and making sure information was accessible to the community before, during, and after each event. I've always been more of a listener, someone who prefers to work quietly in the background rather than being the one speaking in public. Being part of the planning team and hearing all the stories, insights, and resources that was shared in the community has deepened my understanding of different topics and helped me see more clearly about the role I play in the community. Being surrounded by a team that modeled authenticity, openness, and learning together encouraged me to step up and facilitate a few messy conversations myself. I can't see. I was part of a few messy conversations where I shared about my experience as a student at Antioch and my identity as a Filipino American. One of the things that I love about Messy Conversations is that it's virtual. So people can join from anywhere in the world, either live or afterward, as most of our talks are recorded and shared on the resource site. I've had the privilege to collaborate with Dr. John Conte and his mentee Genevieve Brewa, who's a young author from the East Coast, and I also facilitated a conversation with Ms. Karen Ray from the Philippines about third culture kids. Those experiences really stayed with me. They didn't expand what I knew. It evolved how I understood people, systems, and the power of knowledge and collective dialogue. What continues to stay with me is a reminder that it's possible, even if it's not easy, to have conversations where it feels uncomfortable. Being part of Messy Conversations helped me to learn how to sit with that discomfort in my mind, heart, soul, and all over my body, majority of the time, to reflect on what it means for me, for my community, and for the systems that break and shape us. It made me ask hard questions, notice the impact of every layer, and remember that showing up imperfectly and authentically matters. As I think back on those moments, one truth keeps coming back for me. I can listen so that I learn to understand, and I can speak even if my voice shakes. Through Messy Conversations, I've learned that the work starts within us, getting to know ourselves, even in the unknown, and knowing where we are. For me, that growth was made possible by the Messy Conversations community, the team behind it, Dr. David, Sarabaz, Asa, Rosa, Dr. Lane, Anna, Clarence, and I also had the privilege to meet Mihi, Jacqueline, Jasper, Cian, and Holly, and all the people who continue to show up behind the virtual space. Being part of this space reminded me of how important it is to create room for conversations about anti-racism, social justice, equity, and learning and relearning, and centering voices that aren't always heard. I carry those tender moments with me as I move through life, as a woman of color, a child of immigrants, and as a therapist. Over time, I've learned that holding space isn't about having all the answers. It's about staying present with the questions. It's about allowing contradictions to exist, knowing that healing and discomfort often show up together, and the real transformation happens in the in-between. The world is complex, layered, and heavy, especially right now. It's also full of quiet moments of courage and connection, just like what we're having right now. I try to honor both of the pain and the possibility, the broken and the becoming. Messy conversations reminded me that deep listening is its own form of action, that change begins not only when we speak, but when we truly understand. And in that spirit, I keep showing up to listen, to learn, and to speak, even when my voice shakes, and to hold space for others that are doing the same. Thank you all, and happy anniversary to Messy Conversations.
Wow, Nabi, that's incredible. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. I wasn't expecting to tear up myself. And I'm glad I saved the order as I did, because there is one person I know who could follow that. David was a David Tripp founding member who also just left the planning team this quarter or over the summer, and wrote the document, What is a Messy Conversation, that's on our website. And I could hear a lot of David in Nabi's statement as well. And David, I would love to hear from you and your thoughts, and also if you have, considering that also the question I posed to Kirsten about, 5 years ago to now, if you have thoughts on that as well, but the floor is yours.
Thank you, Asa. Yeah, I prepared about a half-hour long statement that I'd like to read very slowly. I'm kidding. It's been so great to hear these voices, some of which I haven't heard for a while, and really be called back into the mess that is Messy Conversations and this work that we do. So I loved Kirsten's answer to your question. And really glad to be hearing your voice again, Kirsten. And then I have a short answer to that, and then something else I'd like to say. And that is that, yeah, I've been thinking about, how interesting that, 5 years ago with the BLM protests, night after night, day after day, people in the streets. And here we are 5 years later, still in the streets, different issues, same issues. But yeah. And so, and the image that it gave me is that Messy Conversations in the 5 years in between has had its foot on the gas pedal. That it's been a place that just consistently just keeps coming in, keeps bringing us back to the same topics and issues and conversations, and along with new ones. But that consistency is of great, great value, it seems to me. So that's what I was thinking about that. And then, you asked us to, I guess, prepare some remarks. And I was thinking back in my days as an AIDS activist, in the early days, and two people I carried with me through those years of work. One was Michel Foucault, and the other was Audre Lorde, and they're always with me. Ask any of my students, and they'll tell you. And this is like all he talks about. And they were with me that day when we said, yeah, let's start something. Let's just do it. And Kirsten and Anna and Sarah Beth and others, we all came together and got this thing going. So what was it about Foucault, and what was it about Audre Lorde? In the context of both the AIDS work that we were doing, and now in the context of the anti-racist work we were doing, think about these words from Foucault. I won't read much, but he said, there's no single locus of great refusal, no source of all rebellions, or a pure law of the revolutionary. Instead, there's a plurality of resistances, each of them a special case. There are resistances that are possible, those that are necessary, those that are improbable. There are others that are spontaneous, sometimes savage, solitary, rampant. And there are still others that are quick to compromise, interested, sacrificial. One is dealing with mobile transitory points of resistance, producing cleavages in a society. And that was always so important to me, because so often we think, oh, well, what's the right thing to do at this moment? And Foucault was saying all of it. All of it. Don't move your seat on the bus. Speak out. Go to city hall meetings. Protest. Make movies. Make music. All of it is necessary. So I thought about that, and then Audre Lorde, who you all know, when she said that the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. They may allow us to temporarily to beat him at his own game, but they will never enable us to bring about genuine change. And this fact is only threatening to those who still define the master's house as their only source of support. And so that's always stuck with me as well, and was with me at the beginnings of Messy Conversations. A chance to come together and reflect as a community, whether or not we are, how did she put it? Still defining the master's house as our source of support, still trying to use the master's tools to undo something that the master built. And for me, to answer this question that I have for myself, so how did that shape at least my vision, and I think it was a very shared vision of the work of Messy Conversations. I'm fond of saying that I understand my moral, ethical responsibility to other people as a responsibility to expand their horizons of possibility for their lives. That in encounters with me, their lives seem bigger, not smaller. And there's more possibility, not less. And that's just the fundamental principle that I try to live by. And I bring that to Messy Conversations. And so my hope for Messy Conversations at the time, and I've got 4 of them, I'm almost done. I wanted Messy Conversations to be a place that highlighted many forms of resistance, where we could come in and hear, oh, these people are doing that. Those people are doing that. These other people are doing that. That seemed crucial to me. I wanted, that's the Foucault in me. Let's get all those forms of resistance out on the table. And I hope that that would inspire connections between people and paths of involvement for people. Like, I know I want to do something, but I'm not sure what. And then I heard this Messy Conversation and these people, oh my God, they're doing this. That's what I want to do. Get me in touch with those people. I mean, Messy Conversations isn't going to solve all the problems. We are not the point of great refusal, but we can do that. We can set a fine table. I also wanted and hoped that Messy Conversations would be a place for collective introspection about the degree to which, the ways in which Antioch is still beholden to the master's house and too often using the master's tools. That kind of work also seems fundamental to me for organization with roots in social justice work, to constantly be having that conversation, never stop having that conversation. And lastly, I wanted and I hoped that Messy Conversations would be a space for analysis, for grieving, for innovation, for dreaming up possibilities, for partnerships, for camaraderie, for inspiration, for joy. And I think what you've seen so far in today's celebration has been, there's been a whole lot of all of that over these 5 years. So I'm grateful to each and every one of you, because I know the ways in which you have supported Messy Conversations, but more importantly, the ways in which you try to live out anti-racism in your life and in your relationships and in the organizations that you're involved in. So just a deep sense of gratitude and thank you.
Thank you, David. Yeah, this session is going to stick with me for a while. I think there's, in thinking about an anniversary, it's easy to just be kind of flippantly celebratory or something like that. But really thinking about these past 5 years and the meaning behind this space, as we look forward to continuing it, I think this occasional looking back and remembering where we come from and what's shaped it so far will help us moving forward. And we did plan a bit of time for some interactive pieces that would be more kind of forward looking on what will happen in this space. I know we're already pretty much at the hour, so we could go into that briefly, I think. Rosa, if you like. I also wanted to, before I pass it off, I think I forgot to mention Jennifer as one of the major attendees. I don't know if Jennifer's ever missed a Messy, and that is incredible, and always supportive in the chat, has been there from the very beginning. So thank you. And I also want to acknowledge the joy and music and spirit that Clarence has brought to this space. So many of the sessions hosted by Clarence, the guests he brings, adding in, you know, starting us off with the spiritual, starting us off with the, waking us up with the song, and then getting us into a discussion of, you know, Black music as activism. Like Clarence really brought that energy into this space and shaped it. And so I definitely want to acknowledge Clarence for that, even though you weren't past the mic this time. And then also Elaine, we haven't heard from today, almost a founding member, but was the first guest of Messy Conversations, and now a longtime planning team member, has brought so many wonderful, incredible guests into this space, has done so much work behind the scenes, partnering with our partnering bookstores who provide gift certificates. Like, we really could have this place without Elaine, and thank you. I don't know if either of you would like to speak, but I definitely I couldn't pass the mic without acknowledging. So Rosa, if you'd like to.
Sure. I'm gonna share my screen. For some of you, this format is familiar. We borrowed this sticky note interactive activity from the Race Card project by journalist Michelle Norris, a Peabody Award winner, very brilliant person. So the concept that she developed was you can distill an idea into 6 words, and then those 6 words could be able to summarize and let others send your message across. And it's an interesting exercise. So what we're gonna do, propose a couple of prompts, is that we're gonna notice a prompt that we wrote, and then grab the sticky note from here, and then distill your response in these 6 words, and we take it from there. So hope that you choose to participate and you have time to stay a little while to go with this. So I'm going to share with you is the link there for people? Yeah, okay. So everybody has access here. So the next, the prompt gonna be your 6-word note on how do you approach anti-racism today as compared to 2020? Totally different context, similar in some ways and different in others, scary ways. So, actually, you click rather than dragging, you just click on the and can write in it. Yeah.
I think some are still on the first page, but if you move through to the
Yes.
second page, then you can see the prompt.
Yes, guys, if you move to the second page, you are here in this page, you go to this other page. I apologize if I didn't help you do that. maybe one more minute. People are responding here, combination of very practical approaches, other more philosophical, important to keep in mind as a framework. We're gonna share this screen with you guys. You want to move to the next prompt, some of you? The next prompt is, what methods, resources do you use for self-care while continuing to engage in anti-racist work? We're gonna come back to the sticky notes from the previous slides. Anyone that wants to jump into the third one, define what messy means in the context of a civil conversation.
I think this Padlet, I really appreciate this Padlet because it feels like a kind of a silent meditation as we've been doing it. But we can also talk out loud if you have something
Of
you
course, that's the idea.
anybody. Yeah. I love what people are sharing, and it's making me think about so many different aspects of messy conversations, but also our lives outside of this environment and how it really, at least for me, it takes me in, it takes me out, it takes me in, it takes me out. I feel like each week I've received some of this goodness from others to help me keep going. And also had a place to share. So thank you for that.
Going back to the first ones, is there anyone would like to comment on the note that you see here or that you posted here?
I just like those two next to each other, the just as bold, just as loud, and I cry more and laugh more. So there's like two sides.
Is it this slide or the second one? Is
Yeah,
the
the
second
second
one?
one.
This is supposed to be in this other one, but we want, but if someone put those here,
I see.
we wouldn't want to pretend that they are not there. But we can go here too. If there's any responses to this slide.
I just really like the using universal design to guide conversation.
Mm.
Echo that one.
I was just looking at the tend and befriend, and that's a strong one for this community because you get to bring in people that don't understand some of the topics that we've had. People have questions, and this is a place where they can get answers in a formal discussion. So I love whoever put this on there, tend and befriend.
Yeah, I like that one too, Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, I like it too. It makes me think of, I've been leaning into the work of, I think it's Valerie Carr about revolutionary love, and she talks about Tend the Wound. And I've been trying to think about that when I'm hitting resistance or opposition. Like, what is the place? Trying to look past the person and just thinking about where is the place that they were wounded and how is it showing up, and how can I be curious about that before I dismiss it and come across as being righteous. I may still end up being righteous because I'm probably right about it, but at least creating space to be curious before I just dismiss them off the face of the earth, right?
Correct. Very true.
Let's see what we find in the other one. I'm thinking about this gardening, and gardening, that's something that doesn't come natural to me. And yet every time I pay attention to that, I realize how grounding it is, literally grounding, and like connecting to a pace that is a pace that follows some kind of instinct or some kind of a process that goes beyond any rationalization. So I appreciate that insight when I think that, and because it's not that comes that natural to me, I appreciate this reminder very much.
When I see bring a friend to messy conversations, I think of David's free parking.
The free parking. Yeah. Free parking. Not anymore.
I love the link that you provided for revolutionary love, and I'm just thinking about the sessions that I've invited some of my past students that have participated in Messy Conversation, and I don't think they actually got it until they started attending here. Some of the things that I used to talk to them about when they were in college, and it clicks afterwards. And this is an excellent resource that I can't wait to share with them. And they do send their congratulations as well. The Andrews, the Jeffrey Mburus, the Alikis, all of them that came and enjoyed. And although they couldn't be here today, I was hoping to express that after the extra session. So I wanted you to know and pass that on.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, it's so nice not only to hear your voice, but to get to bathe in your generosity.
Thank you, David. Thank you for having me.
The another slide comes to mind when we read these ones.
I really am enjoying the finding a pause to connect.
That demonstrating vulnerability, Navi, you did that. Thank you. I went for 20 seconds because I wasn't willing. And you wrapped up everything that everybody had to say in the summary, and it was beautiful. So thank you.
These are your gifts to us in our anniversary, guys, because these slides are precious, precious for us. We're going to stop sharing for a moment, guys, in order to see each other, and we're going to share these slides as well with you. Mhm.
I would like to use this moment to put the word out that we're seeking another work study student. And we're looking for someone who can focus outreach and help us to bring more students to Messy Conversations. And I think one of the things that we talked about in different ways this summer as we focused our Messy Conversations planning was really the challenge that the transient student population is to connect with something like Messy. And with people coming here to get their degrees and not staying that long, we know that there's a lot of shuffling that happens. And I hope that all of those who came, and it sounds like the data is in on that, have found a way to take something from Messy Conversations that can be useful in life, in practice. I know for my own self, that thing of listening to somebody and imagining what I'm going to say next and planning a response or thinking about what would be better to say, that has largely gone away for me. And I think that that is about this practice of listening to listen, listening to understand, and listening to hear each other. And I am human, but I also feel that some of this has settled in me clearly. And when I have felt I am not sure what to do, or I'm not sure what the right thing to say is, to see people in this setting reminds me there are other people that I can talk to about it in a more general way. There are other people who can support me in finding my way through the issues. There are other people who know more things about those issues than I do, and more people who know about the lived experience and the consequences of us not responding or listening toward action. So I'm really grateful to know each of you in this space, and so many of you outside of this space too.
I'm going to take a moment to pop in right quick. I put the job description in the chat, and then also a link to our upcoming conversations where there's a flyer that shows what we have coming up. Also, I just want to take a moment to introduce myself. I'm Holly. I'm the new work study. And what inspired me to jump in right now is what Sarah Beth showed about that moment of like, I got to figure out what to say, and how, you know, coming into this space, I really get the opportunity to trust that I can be vulnerable myself and honest, and that my team members are going to approach me with loving kindness. And again, I've only been here for a few months, but all the things that Nabi and Jacqueline said, I just want to tell you, I didn't know how much I needed to hear those. And I might tear up just saying that, because I'm new to Antioch, and it's interesting, and I'm learning a lot. And Messy Conversations is really what has helped me feel like I can continue on. And I just want to share that as a new person walking into the scene, and just really feeling that all that love and breadth and honesty and grit. And yeah, the laugh and cry more. I'm feeling that too. I'm laughing and crying at the same time. It's almost like a beautiful way to really access some deep things. So I just wanted to take a moment to share that. Thanks.
I'm going to also just be brave and say the thing. We need to invite more people in. We can never have enough. I remember at the beginning, it was, especially with white people, it was a constant conversation about, well, what are the objectives? What are we doing together? How will we know when we've done it? What are we trying to get to? And we're not there yet, so we have to keep going. And I'm sad because we've lost so many great people in this last year, especially, but we always lose wonderful students to the graduation process. So there's grief in this work that lives here. And I think when we're fortunate, we've cultivated relationship and we stay connected. And that is what a place like Antioch can be for us if we make it that way, is a place to go back to, a place to be reminded of our values, a place to learn about new ways to do the work and connect ourselves with people all over the world. Antiochians are everywhere. But I just want to ask you to do that thing of bringing your friend, because it is free and you don't need free parking. But I appreciate that because I always hear that in my mind, even though David has let go a little bit. So thank you all for all of this.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you.
Hi, Rosa. Hi, everyone. I want to thank everyone at Messy Conversation. I have been coming since I came back to Antioch in fall of 22, and I do not take any class on Monday that interferes with Messy Conversation, because for me, this is a class. This is a class of every and any genre that is important to civil justice, to growth, to development, politics, generational trauma that we learn of. And I have changed so much, and precisely because of Messy Conversations, each one of you have gifted me with a part of me that I now understand and that I now can acknowledge. There are parts of me that I've let go of. There are parts of me that I didn't know was there. And it is Messy Conversations, but it's also all of my professors, every one of you. Dr. David Tripp, you were one of my first professors that I took 2 of your classes with. And it was your classes, and it was these Messy Conversations, and every professor here, Dr. Elaine, Dr. Sarah Beth, you have all contributed to my growth, and thank you so much, so very much. It's I feel grounded here. I feel grounded in my classes, in the lectures, in the readings. The readings are phenomenal, and thank you very, very much. And just so that you all know, even after I enter the MAP program in April of 26, I will still be here. After I graduate from my master's degree, I will still be here. And not only will I still be here, but I think these Messy Conversations are so important for patients, clients, because I will be a therapist, and they too will benefit. So I will tell them and I will share. And it's important that we all are part of any type of messy conversation and take it out into our communities and share who we are and what this is about. And thank you very much. By the way, my mom's here, and she says, your mother thanks them too. So thank you. She also attends all these messy conversations. So my guest is always here.
Oh, Lisa, that multi-generational presence of you guys is remarkable for us. Remarkable, wonderful. I wanted to bring up some additional opportunity for those. When David Tripp stepped back to pursue other stuff that he's doing, and left the seed behind of what we have been doing. We have been reflecting during the summer. We haven't gathered completely our thoughts and of the analysis that we were doing during the summer, but at the very least, there are two things that we all found that are important for us. That is to be more inclusive in terms also of the schedule, right? Because not everybody wants to skip their Monday classes like you, Lisa. That's remarkable what you're doing, but not everybody is willing to make that kind of space. It's not we might need to move a little bit like to earlier, right, on Mondays, so that East Coast people could participate. So we are considering that element. The other element is maybe less number of quarterly sessions, but gearing them towards the topics that people care about. So we are not yet decided that, but the thoughts that we gather are inclusive, making things possible for everybody, relevant. And because the reason I'm bringing that up is because we realize that with the experience that we gather so far, we're standing on the shoulders of other people that have been trying to make this work before we took on the Messy Conversations planning team. Because of that, we realized that there are functions, that we are not just a committee. We have subcommittees. To make this happen, there are lots of pieces to work out. So we are hoping to grow our planning team. So in addition of bringing work study support, we would like to increase our planning team to bring more faculty, staff, students that want to be part of the planning team as such, as volunteer basis. So, and we have almost 10 positions available in order to make things happen, right? And then that way, the more we are, the least burdening it is to put things together, because then we are sharing something large but little pieces. So we are going to be sharing what is out there, right, Sarah Beth? We're going to sharing how does it looks like in case anyone wants to take on a piece of the piece of this to help us keep going. And then we are operating fine so far, but I think we can grow more and attract more audience and cover more if you have more people in the planning team, right? So hopefully we grow as a team too.
Yeah. Trying to. It's not working. Sorry about this.
I just wanted to say goodbye to everybody, and
Oh, thank you.
it was great to see you all. And I hope you all take care. And I can't wait to be now that I'm actually graduated again. I can start coming back more often. So everyone, take care, and thank you for this.
Thank you, Jackie.
Bye.
I'm gonna sign off now too, but thank you all for wonderful time, wonderful conversation. It was just great to be here with you all with such heartfelt, committed people, people who are committed and living the values and not giving up and and keeping hope alive. It's my people, my tribe. You're my tribe. Thanks so much.
Goodbye, everyone. We're going to be leaving as well. We'll see you Monday next week. Have a
See
good
you
week.
Monday next week.
See you Monday. Bye bye.